This is footage from the 2019 meeting between Vladimir Putin and Khabib Nurmagomedov, along with his father Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. During their conversation, Putin personally congratulated Khabib on his dominant victory over Dustin Poirier. Dana White even mentioned that Putin gifted Khabib a luxury property worth over $20 million. At that point, everything seemed calm, no sign of trouble. But fast forward 3 or 4 years, and everything changed. Khabib ended up angering Putin, forcing him to leave Russia. Based on his Instagram activity, it looked like he had packed his bags and relocated to the UAE. Reports also claimed he owed the Russian government a massive amount of money. Meanwhile, local TV presenters went from praising him to openly mocking and insulting him. But the biggest shock came from his own people. Many in Dagestan, who once hailed him as a national hero, turned their backs on him. They accused Khabib of betraying their trust and abandoning his roots, all because of one crucial mistake. Part 1. War. The war between Russia and Ukraine erupted on February 24, 2022. Russia invaded its neighboring brother nation, Ukraine. Hundreds of tanks and thousands of soldiers poured across the border toward Kiev. Western powers attempted to stop Russia with threats of sanctions and economic isolation, but nothing seemed to slow them down. The Russian military pushed forward, claiming it was for peace, stability, and order. The government unleashed intense propaganda and aggressive messaging to justify its actions. But how does this connect to Khabib? You'll see soon. Part 2. Celebrities. Soon, celebrities and influencers became powerful voices. Actors, YouTubers, artists, and big names started publicly backing the government. They called Ukrainians fascists and claimed everything was a Western setup. Many insisted Russia needed to wipe out Ukraine to ensure future peace. For these public figures, survival depended on supporting the army, or else they'd be silenced. Naturally, they tried recruiting Khabib too, hoping to use his popularity as a weapon of propaganda. But Khabib didn't rush to say anything. He stayed quiet. Very quiet. Part 3. The army mobilized in Dagestan. By September 2022, Russia's initial blitz had slowed. They shifted to a more tactical strategy, needing fresh troops to keep advancing. So the government launched a partial mobilization. But in Dagestan, Khabib's homeland, it was anything but partial. Almost every able man was sent to war. Protests broke out, mostly led by brave women. Men were dragged into recruitment centers. Chants echoed, "No to war, no to mobilization. Our children are not fertilizer." When hundreds gathered near the puppet theater, police cracked down hard. People felt abandoned. Moscow insisted everything was under control. Desperate for help, they turned to their local hero, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Part 4. Khabib, national hero or not. Khabib had always been outspoken. He criticized Russian pop concerts, calling them a bad influence. He once blasted Emmanuel Macron on Instagram for refusing to ban caricatures of Prophet Muhammad. Fearless opinions were his thing. But while Dagestan burned with protests and arrests, Khabib was posting training clips and cozy dinner pics abroad. Fans flooded his Instagram with pleas. "Khabib, we stood by you, now stand with us. Champion, say something. Don't let us down." But at the same time, Putin's government was breathing down his neck, expecting him to publicly support the war. Reports claim he received personal calls from Anton, Vaino, and Sergey Kiriyenko. The pressure was real. Part 5. Khabib's decision. People and religious groups in Dagestan quickly lost faith in their hero. He chose silence. Russian propagandists slammed him for disrespecting national politics. Eventually, the state struck back. Khabib was hit with a massive tax claim of 306 million rubles. Authorities seized property worth 79 million rubles, his Dagestan family home.
Here is like, I see only women and men. There is no between. Got it.
And his fleet of luxury cars. Officially it was unpaid taxes. Realistically, punishment. In Russia, disobedience has a price. He was forced to shut down all his businesses. From national hero to persona non grata, hunted, targeted, isolated. Why didn't he just speak up? What was he so afraid of? Part 6. Khabib leaves Russia. Realizing the danger, Khabib relocated to the UAE, where he remained respected as a sports icon and a devout Muslim. With influential allies, getting residency or citizenship was no problem. Just like Khamzat Shamim, he quickly found a safe haven. The region's leaders love MMA, making Khabib's transition smooth. He opened businesses, enjoyed life, and kept his distance from Russian politics. Yet deep down, you can imagine him missing home, his land, his people, his mother. So he began planning. Part 7. Khabib's plan. Years later, as tensions eased, Khabib quietly explored ways to return. He leaned on powerful contacts like Ramzan Kadyrov, a close ally of Putin. He negotiated his tax bill down from 302 million to 79.3 million rubles. By then, public anger had faded. His return seemed smooth, no remaining debts, no major backlash. But the war still haunted him. Part 8. Khabib and the conflict. Khabib didn't publicly take sides, but he approached the issue differently. While attending a UFC event in the U.S., he spoke with Donald Trump.
It was very interesting, though. So Khabib came up to me after the fight the other night, and he said to me, "Oh, I hope you can get in because we have to stop the wars. We have to stop the killing, the killing." He was so smart. He understood it. He said, "We have to stop the killing," and it's true. And I think I'd have that war stopped if I was president-elect. Right after the election, if I win, I will get that war stopped. I'll get it stopped fast before I get to office. If it's not stopped before then.
Talking about Russia, Ukraine.
I'm talking about Russia.
Who happens to be a big fan of his. Russian propagandists jumped on the story to attack him again. But that didn't stop Khabib. He kept searching for ways to help end the war. Part 9. Khabib and Ukraine. Khabib's ties to Ukraine run deep. His father studied there, he trained there, and much of his early career was linked to Ukrainian clubs. His family still has strong connections in the region. Maybe that's why he can't openly support Russia. Or maybe he's simply scared. Scared of punishment, scared for his loved ones, scared of losing home forever. Either way, silence became his shield. But silence can also be dangerous. It hides your position. It isolates you. History has seen legends like Muhammad Ali speak out against war. His courage inspired millions. Khabib's silence, however, left a void. He lost Putin's favor, and the people's trust faded.